Hey everyone, happy Saturday morning. This one is a little bit later than the one from last week because I felt like my brain was not in the right place to be doing unit reviews at 11 a.m. on a Saturday, so we're doing noon instead. Um, I know this is a little bit early, so we're just gonna wait a couple minutes before we start, but yeah, I was just sitting in front of my computer bored, so I was like, I might as well start stream a little bit early. How are y'all doing today? Builderfish says they have donuts. Nice. What kind of donuts? I could use some donuts right now. Hey Storm Eagle. Hey Sylvain. Coffee, I am so sorry. We will... You know what? Good point. We'll start off with your Alphonse. Let's pull that up. Sorry, that was just obviously not a typical occurrence. I was just really not feeling well. But yeah. So yeah, we'll pull him up. Hey Mevi, no, you haven't missed anything yet. Hey Tronic. Hey Rabbit of Vala. How can you show your unit? So Sukiro-kun, unfortunately right now, I've got like over 250 units, people have already submitted, and there's just no way I'm even getting through all of those in this stream. So unfortunately you can't submit anything right now. But for the next stream, I'm gonna open up a new form for unit reviews. So stay tuned for next stream. Probably next weekend, if not the one after that. How's the music level, by the way? Is it like too low or is it fine? Hey Cheyenne Rose. Yes, Mevi, I'm reviewing I'm gonna start where we've ended off in the last stream and just keep going from there. You know, Duo Alphonse does really have nice art. Okay, so this is Coffee's Alphonse. Got cut off a little short at the end of last stream, so we're gonna start off with this one. Music feels a little low. Thank you, Rabbit. I will make it a little bit higher. Hey, Sean! But yeah, so onto Coffee's Alphonse. They say they usually run him with close reversal and attack defense form. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, if you're not running him with a near save unit, I do think he can be a really good close reversal user. Thanks, Tronic. I'm definitely feeling a lot better. Oh yeah, just in terms of unrelated news, I had my graduation ceremony yesterday, so that was fun. Feeling pretty awesome. Got a degree in my room next to me now. Not right next to me, it's in my bookshelf because I didn't want to get it framed because they are expensive. Frames are very expensive. So we've just got the piece of paper, but it looks really cool and fancy. Thank you. Oh, and also update on my job search. It's going pretty well. I think I'm gonna get an offer next week from the company that I've been wanting to work for. So yeah, things are looking up. Hey, Chris England. Okay, so yeah, Alphonse, obviously close reversal, pretty good pick on him. Really just like, it looks like you're trying to build up his defense as high as you possibly can. So that's pretty cool. Another option would be if you wanted to make him just a dedicated ranged counter, you could give him something like Mirror Stance 3 or the one with Defense and Resonate, and then just run him alongside a Near Saver. Yeah, it's a good point, though. It's probably worth waiting for his refine. You guys see PM1's tweet about Duo Hector being confirmed for a refine? Was he actually confirmed? Like, do we know for a fact? Because I haven't seen the PM1 tweet, so if someone wants to explain what that's up. Yes, Bracing Stance. Thank you, Moon Angel Fire. I forgot what it was called. But yeah, no, I think if we do know that duos are getting a refine for sure now, according to PM1 apparently, yeah, it's probably worth waiting for the duo Alphonse refine before giving him any more significant investment. That's awesome. Oh, Duo Hector comes back on a banner in November. Okay, yeah. I actually have a Duo Hector. So I'm excited to see what they do with him. You just picked up the combat manual for bracing stance, so I'll give that to him. Yeah, I think that could be really good on him because, like, he has really good mixed bulk, so helping with that res, I think, could make him a lot tankier. Alright, on to the next unit. This one is the one that I had up at the beginning of the stream. This one is from a person who would like me to refer to them as Noe. So we got Noe here with the Halloween Noe build. Hi, Giratina Bestie. Hope you're having a good day as well. I'm having a pretty good day. But yeah, so this is Noe. I don't remember what her refine does. It lets her jump, right? Like to 2 spaces within people within 2 spaces. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of potentially the ideal build. Like, I guess another option would be to give her impact, just so that she can, you know, jump, attack someone, and then not die. So probably sturdy impact if you wanted to. And then, aside from that, if you wanted to upgrade to speed, res, hold, obviously if you have the fodder for that, would be an upgrade. Unity, good point, Coffee. Unity could be another option. And as the B skill, I was gonna recommend Velocity, but honestly, like, Noe seems more like a player phase unit to me, so I don't know if Velocity would be super useful. I'd say probably don't do that. I think Trace is more than good enough. Did I say Velocity, y'all? I'm sorry. It clearly is still too early in the morning for me. I meant Preempt. Thank you for keeping me honest, Archangel. Or is it Archangel? I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyway, no, I probably wouldn't really recommend Preempt on a player phase unit, unless you're also using her for mixed phase. So that, I guess that could be an option, but probably not. Maybe swap Trace for Tempo. Can Flyers run Tempo? I sort of assumed it was just infantry exclusive, but I don't know for sure. So, if someone knows. Okay, yeah, Tempo's an infantry skill. Yeah, unfortunately, Tegan, Flyers don't get nice things. Preempt was a good start, but I'd love to get more. No worries, bestie. Alright, so... on to the next. Sorry, I've just got my, my spreadsheet open here on the side, so I have to scroll. This next one is from Archangel, who's actually in chat right now, so that's super cool. So they've said as their comment, as the seal, he gets the new null follow-up seal as soon as the Tempest Trial is there. So again, these builds were submitted before the Tempest Trial had come out, so I don't even have to suggest a null follow-up seal because it's already here. Hey Crossfighter, I'm doing good. Just a chill Saturday morning. How are you doing? But yeah, so this is a very strong Leaf build. I did not realize he could get this fast. I think, really the only thing I would recommend is, swap out Distant Counter for one of the new upgraded ones. Like, I think Distant Dart is probably the best one for him. Aside from that, the C skill works well with Vital Astra. But if you wanted to run his default special, Open the Future, that would also be an option. But I just think it's funny, that, what was I gonna say? Oh, that you, foddered off his arcane weapon to the normal version of himself. DC on Anima Defense. I doubt they're running this build on Anima Defense, to be honest. It's just that, he's an Anima Mythic, right? So... Oh, you can't run his PRF special with this weapon. Okay. Yeah, forget what I said then. I totally forgot. Sorlox with their speedy Edelgard. Yeah, like, you know, I always like making units who are, fast. Like, who are not supposed to be fast, so I support you on that. You updated him with the new finish skill for the defense? Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. Attack speed finish would be really good on this. Alright, next onto a build from Tegan. who I think is also in chat right now. Uh, this is Speedy Lucas. They say started as a meme build, turned serious. He actually works pretty well. I've got a laundry list of skills on him too. So, that's definitely like, again, I did not know Lucas could get this fast. But yeah, like, this is actually kind of decent. His defense is still crazy high, even with Ninja Yari, which is the funny part. Waiting for Wings of Mercy seal. Let's not manifest that, bestie. Let's not. But yeah, no, like, this is actually kind of good. I guess it kind of sucks that since you're not running, like, Time's Pulse, you don't activate Ruptured Sky on the second hit, but you're probably quadding most of the time anyway. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, you probably attack twice with Ninja Yari, they attack back once, and then you retaliate with Ruptured Sky and the Surge Sparrow. So actually, yeah, that's kind of really good. And yeah, you've probably already considered it, but Null Follow-Up Seal would also be a decent option since he's already quite fast, even without the solo seal. You could also swap out the B skill for maybe a lull, or for velocity, but yeah. Or tempo, speed defense tempo. But yeah, no, this is super cool. Alright, on to the next build. This one is from Jules. This is their Lilina. Can someone tell me what Bridal Orchid does? Because I don't think I've ever seen that weapon in my life. What does that do? Hey Blue, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. But yeah, what does Bridal Orchid do? Carrot-tipped lance, but for attack res? I don't know what carrot-tipped lance does either, to be very honest. Oh, thank you, Builderfish. Attack res +5 and bonus doubler for attack res. That's pretty good. And obviously works really well with attack res menace. Still water, pretty cool. And they mentioned in their comments that this build helps her get up to +17 attack and res during combat, both player phase and enemy phase. So yeah. Blue says that Lilina doesn't have Mirror Strike Vantage defense tactic. Very bad. Also, no null follow-up seal. For those of you who aren't on Twitter, Mirror Strike Vantage defense tactic Lilina is like a meme build. So yeah. It's not particularly good though, so it's just for fun. And honestly, null follow-up, I probably wouldn't go with null follow-up here, because this is definitely like very just high attack and res focus. Still water, I guess, is fine. You could also give her like attack res solo. Hey JFK, need to meet up with her. So true, bestie. Alright, next up is this build from Mivi, who was in chat earlier. Hopefully they are still around, so they can witness us looking at their amazing Dimitri. So he's running his preferred weapon, Rally Attack, Vital Astra, Surge Sparrow, Atrocity, Time's Pulse, and Deflect Magic. Oh, your name is pronounced Mivi. I'm sorry about that. I assumed it was Mivi like Levi. Sorry about that, Mivi. They say I want to give him the new DC skill from the Duo Duma, but I don't know if it's worth it. I would say it's honestly not really worth it. I think, like, if you want to go player phase, Dimitri Surge Sparrow is very good. Deflect Magic, I would probably swap out. Either Null Follow-Up Seal or Attack Speed Solo or something like that. But yeah, no, this is a pretty good player phase Dimitri, and you could use him alongside a Farsaver. I think that could be pretty good in Summoner duels. And good luck getting the +10 on him. Alright, next build. Scrolling through my Excel file. Oh, this one's actually from JFK, who was actually in the thumbnail. So this is JFK's Fallen Celica. She's obviously super slay. So yeah, I don't really know if I would switch anything. Aside from maybe the null follow-up seal, since I you may have already given this to her. Obviously, this was submitted before that build existed. But yeah, perhaps just null follow-up seal. Velocity is also like probably the ideal B skill to give her out of the damage reduction ones. So yeah, very, very strong. I guess another option would be instead of Speed Smoke 4, you could give her like Menace, which you probably already have on her, and yeah, aside from that, I think Speed Smoke 4 is very good. This is just like a million layers of damage reduction. Yes, guys, I'm gonna keep recommending the null follow-up seal. It's in the overlay now, in the stream overlay. All these builds were submitted before the null follow-up seal. I agree, Coffee. The null guard on velocity is just so much better than all the other damage reduction B slots. I mean, yeah, it's quite literally the damage reduction B slot power creep. Like, it's the best version, I would say. Reed Skull says, I just want to know who decided to build Fallen Celica this much instead of her other alts. Celica fan or her biggest hater? Question mark. I do think JFK likes Celica. Not sure why they decided to build the Fallen one. Probably because she's Slay. Oh, thank you for the $2, Sanrio. They say Celica flopped. I don't know if I agree, but I think, you know, I assume you're one of JFK's friends, so, yeah. Connor, you think Close Call is on par? I think, you know, I think Close Call can be really good in summoner duels because it's almost like a mini Kanto. But other than that, I've had, like, in Ether Raids, Close Call has messed me up. Like, I've attacked into someone, and then Close Call would take me back into, like, the yellow lightning trap. So it's just not good. But aside from that, I do think they're going to continue doing more, like, more damage reduction B skills. I don't know what else they could include. JFK says they built her because they got 2 copies on her refined banner and they really like her too. Yeah, honestly, Fallen Celica, I have like a +4 or +5 of her too. I think she's very slay. Kanto control B slot? Like dodge with Kanto control? I don't think they would do that. That seems too supportive. Manifesting null follow-up damage reduction skill? That would just blow, like, everything out of the water except for probably velocity. Like, on anyone who doesn't already have null follow-up in their weapon, that would just be so good. Guard 4 will have null follow-up on it. Scary thought. On to the next unit from Pedro. This is Pedro's only save unit. She's been really fun to use, and her speed denies follow-ups from nearly all units she encounters. She even tanks the Sea Wild Calves with some support. So I assume that means Crom and Erica. Super cool. I think Hardy Fighter is quite good on her. Another option would be Savvy Fighter. But aside from that, yeah, this is quite good. I think the only... Does Arcane Eleuthir have Guard in it? Because I was going to say you could give her a tier 4 stance as the A skill, but I actually think Arcane Eleuthir has Guard in it, right? So, yeah. Okay, so aside from that, I mean, you could give her Unity. I think Defense Res Unity is a thing, but probably not super worth it. If you find that she's often soaking, like, any kind of debuffs, that would be an option. But aside from that, no, this is very good. Actually, I'm realizing now, how does Darting Breath interact with this, like, this whole setup? I don't know if it actually helps. Can anyone let me know if Darting Breath is actually helping here? Because I don't know. Because I'm thinking about it, I don't see any Hardy Fighter Vectors running any kind of, like, breath skill, so it might not actually be necessary. It should recharge Pavis. Okay. That's fair. Pavis on a potential second hit. Yeah, I guess. Alright, yeah. Keep darting breath. Listen to the smart people in chat. I wonder if I should give my Brave Hector a breath skill then to make better use of Hardy Fighter. I don't know. Wouldn't steady breath be better for more defense? You could, but her defense is already quite high. I assume they're just really trying to go for those natural doubles, even if somehow like the foe negates follow-ups. But yeah, you could swap it out for any of the other breaths. Even the res breath could technically work if you're trying to make her more tanky against like dragons. But yeah, this is meant to be a speedy build. Alright, what other builds do we have up next? We have this build from Mika. Spring Serena. Sorry, it's kind of cut off in the overlay just because it's like, I think, from like a different phone screen size, but y'all can still see it. So yeah, this is pretty good. If you could, I would swap out the C skill for null swap out the seal for null follow-up. And then as the C skill, put like a menace, I think would be really good on her. If you have any kind of fodder, because like the res, if you're specifically going for like a player phase attack speed build, I would probably give her attack speed menace. And as the B skill, you could give her tempo if you have the fodder for it, but it is pretty expensive fodder. I don't have the fodder for it. Yes, she's an infantry. You guys are thinking of Spring Veronica, who is a green tome flyer. She is, Serena is an infantry. Oath 4 would be very good too. I forgot that existed. Thanks, Maddie. And they say they're planning to change the A to attack speed catch in the near future when they get the fodder. Yeah, I do think it would be really good. Hi, Ritsu. Is that a peony alt? I still don't remember what the takeaway from book 4 was. Like, are Peony and Serena the same person? Or was that just like a fever dream? I don't remember. Ooh, Serena Lover says you can use attack speed ideal as well. She gets passive healing in her weapon. Oh, thanks guys in the comments for reminding me that she's an infantry, even though I was just talking about this. Infantry units can't run catch. So ideal would be better. Because you can't run catch. On to the next unit. This one is from Matt, and they didn't add any kind of description, so this is Matt's Ingrid. Wait, does that count as spoilers, Maddie? That's book 4. I don't think book 4 is spoilers anymore. Right? Like, it's been like 2 years. But yeah, no, this is a very good Ingrid. Honestly, I've always thought that Ingrid's best B skill is one of the flow skills, though, just because, I think, like, she obviously has that dive bomb effect. I think the only thing really stopping her from nuking, like, crazy is having a way to get around units who prevent her follow-up. So, yeah, I would give her one of the, flow skills. Maybe flow force, I think. Or, honestly, any of the ones that, just let her double would be cool. Blue says, does she have slaying? I actually don't know. I don't think so, though. So maybe Gale Force also isn't the best option, but, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Spoilers, you can get Fiora if you complete Book 2, Chapter 1, Part 5. Connor, you gotta spoiler tag that! But yeah, no, I don't think Ingrid has slaying. I think it's just stats. Alright, on to the next build from Gronwolf, the bestie. Love him. We've got this Randolph who was also in the thumbnail. I just thought, like, I was looking through the submissions last night, and I just thought he looked so cool. Wait, Ingrid has slaying? My life is a lie. This whole time I thought she didn't. So ignore everything I just said. Yeah, Blue makes the point you might want to give her a different special. But since she has slaying, I think Gale Force could work. So. Connor says everything has slaying. So true. But yeah, no, this Randolph, very good. Attack speed clash. I don't know if it's like the best skill for him, but it's definitely a flex. I don't know how fast that will get up to. Because if it's less than 9, you could give him catch. But you probably already have catch on him too, to be very honest. Oh, actually, Gronwolf submitted a description for that, so let's see what they say. Randolph is very good at doing damage with speed-based true damage in his weapon, and Clash and Near Trace add a lot to the build. Infantry speed tactic is great support for his S-supported legendary Ike. He tears through meta threats like Brave Hector, Ascended Adun, and Fallen Edelgard. Yeah, no, this is really good. And in Summoner Duels, he runs Surge Sparrow plus Moonbow, Windsweep, and double Ward Beasts to help out their far-save Kanegus. Yeah, that's super awesome. Honestly, I have a Randolph sitting in my barracks. He's like plus attack. He's just plus 0, but I honestly think he could be really good. Awesome. So next build. Oh, thank you for the $2, Geo. Sorry, I did not realize that was you because your YouTube name is different. Flamingo King will not stand for this faker. Flamingo King is Johnny over on Twitter, who is also a really big Randolph fan. Honestly, Geo, I think Johnny would love this Randolph build. It's very good. Has anyone run into Duo Duma and AR? I mean, I use Duo Duma and AR. Does that count, Tronic? Ritsu says Randolph and Ike are like the closest roommates. You love to see such good friendship. So true. They were just friends. But yeah, next build from El Popo. This Rucker, who was also on the thumbnail. Yeah, I don't really know what his Refine does. So if someone in the comments happens to, or in chat happens to know, feel free to let me know. He's running Godlike Reflexes, DC, Null Follow-Up, Speed Smoke, and Mystic Boost. So in the weapon, he has Slaying, plus 10 attack speed. Lots of attack and speed, and dodge. Okay, that's actually pretty good. He actually must have gotten a really good Refine then. He kind of flew under the radar. So what El Popo says is, so basically, he wants to initiate, and from then on, always have Godlike Reflexes active. Lacks a bit in the damage output department, but it very much makes up for it with his survival. So yeah, this definitely looks like the kind of unit who would be hard to kill. I would probably give him Distant Dart if you have the fodder for it, or one of the other DC skills. Also a Floret, good point, Maddie. If you have a Floret plus attack, I think would really help. Hey, Joe. Aside from that, you could swap out the B skill for like Velocity for extra damage reduction. And then give him the Null Follow-Up Seal. Or if you don't want to do that, you could give him, I don't know, like, is Mystic Boost helping much in the Seal? Like, I guess it helps with survivability. Leo says Mystic Boost on B, so you can put Null Follow-Up in Sacred Seal. Oh my god. I can't. I can't. Philip says pressure might be a bit better, if only because it also works in player phase for when he initiates. I guess so, but pressure has recoil damage, right? So Yeah, like there are a ton of things you could do with this. I think you could give him an attack speed boosting seal. I think you could give him the null follow up seal and change his B skill to something like velocity, or bulwark. But aside from that, I think this is very good. Okay, so Serena Lover is saying double null follow up so you can nullify the opponent's null follow up while still having null follow up. Honestly, guys, I unironically saw someone saying that you need 2 layers of null follow up to get through something like 2 layers of follow up denial, which is just not true. Like, null follow up is not like quick riposte. Null follow up just nullifies all skills that control your follow ups. So you really like you would never need multiple null follow ups. Hi Kyle / Allison, I assume. I'm not sure if that's you, but if it's not, I'm sorry. Pretty sure, yeah, it was on Reddit. Yeah, Geo, I was arguing. I wasn't arguing with someone on Reddit, but my friend sent me a screenshot of someone arguing that Legendary Ryoma's not good because he can only run 1 layer of null follow-up in his weapon. And they're like, he needs 2 layers of null follow-up. And I'm like, it just doesn't work like that. How many shots in are we for the null follow-up counter this stream? I don't think I'm keeping count. If I had to guess, it'd probably be like 10. I'm gonna take a drink of water, though. A shot of water. That's fair, Allison. Wingcap says, I'm taking shots for forget about everything I just said. Honestly, guys, like, a lot of the new weapon refines, a lot of the new skills, like, I just don't know what they do. It's hard to remember everything in this game with, like, 800 units or however many we have nowadays. Consider this, Resplendent Ryoma can run triple null follow-up. Null follow-up in the weapon, null follow-up in the B skill, and null follow-up in the seal. We love to see it. 861 units? That's insane. And I'm a day 1 player, and I actually, like, play this game every day. I can't even imagine being a casual player. Like, it must be so hard to keep up with everything. Hey, Rickon. Are you late? Like 30 minutes late, but, still very much welcome. We still got a lot to go. Tomorrow's a new trailer with new units. Okay, guys, is the trailer tonight, or is it tomorrow night? I thought it would be tonight. Not really sure, though. But anyways, on to the next build. Sorry, just scrolling through my thing. Oh, this one's from Crossfighter, who was in chat earlier, so hopefully you're still around, Crossfighter. We get to look at your Fiora. Okay, people are saying trailers tonight. Ritsu, you're right. I have no idea what Sonaki's Refine does. Okay, trailers tonight. Alright. I'm like so tired. I don't know if I want to do a trailer reaction, but we'll do it. But anyway, so this is Crossfighter's Fiora. He says, this is my favorite Pegasus Knight in Fire Emblem 7 on the Game Boy Advance. So yeah, definitely really nice. I'm curious, because it says she's ascended, but I don't see an ascended stat. So I don't know, I don't know, like, if he was, like, if it's just not showing up, or, but yeah. Oh, she's neutral and they went plus attack. Okay, I see. I forgot you could do that. Forgot that was an option. So she's running Gale Force, Swift Sparrow, Hit and Run, Savage Blow, and Heavy Blade. I think there are, like, a couple different options you could do, depending on, like, the level of investment you want to give. If you picked up a copy of Ascended Leaf, I think his sword would be really good on her. Or you could give her as the B skill, like a flow skill, like Flow Guard or something like that, and maybe swap out her weapon for something else. Upfront Blade, Spark says. I don't know what Upfront Blade is. Savage Blow 4. Ooh, that doesn't exist, but it might someday. But yeah, no, I would... Fire Sweep nowadays, I don't know if it's like that good considering some of the inheritables we have, so I would probably swap it out for something else. Good point. Archangel points out that we've got Florid Cane, which has Canto, and that was on the free unit we got from the Thieves banner on the Tempest Trial, so I think that would be a really solid pick. Or Upfront Blade, like Spark said. As the C skill, you could give her a Menace skill if you have the fodder for it. Or, like, honestly, if you want to get really crazy with it, you could go with something like Speed Smoke 4. Could be pretty good. But yeah, no, definitely cool Fiora. I think there's definitely potential for, if you have the fodder for it, for upgrading a couple of the skills. Alright, next up is this Kaden from Elio. Elio from Twitter, at Quizzical on Twitter. Yeah, Elio's a big fan of Kaden, so, yeah, this is really good. Refreshed Fang, I'm not really sure what it does. I think it might be some kind of damage reduction? If someone knows, please let me know. Aside from that, Trace is obviously very good because he's a Cav. Another option would be one of the flow skills. Just so that he basically has null follow-up. So like Flow Guard could be really good. Oh! Also thanks guys for pointing this out. Gale Force and Surge Sparrow don't actually work together. So I would probably swap out that Gale Force for like Ruptured Sky or something. Yeah, I think Ruptured Sky would be good. Thank you for the $2, Geo. Kaden flopped. Hashtag I'm lost gang. Hey, Elio. You came just on time. But yeah, oh, Ruptured Sky on Beasts? Oops. Sorry, guys. I did not realize Beasts couldn't run it, but I guess it makes sense. Probably like Moonbow then. Like, my moment has arrived. Aside from that, yeah, just or if you want to give him like attack speed catch instead, then it would work with Gale Force. Solo C skills, forgot the name. Blue Flame is an option. Maybe run null follow-up. I mean, Kaden can't run null follow-up, but he can run like a flow skill. Surge Sparrow gives 1 extra attack over Swift. Yeah, I still don't understand that. Surge Sparrow is literally just better than Swift Sparrow 3 in every way. Elio says, too bad he's a beast unit and can only run 1 weapon. Yeah. I mean, he'll get a refined someday, but I feel like it'll be pretty far, so feels bad. Oh, Cav Beast weapons have impact, so kinda. So flow skill with his impact in the weapon is like a fake null follow-up. Okay, so Refreshing Fang, 10 speed, stat swing, and true damage based on difference of speed. Yeah, I would probably replace Heavy Blade as well. Unless you are going with the Gale Force build. But in which case, yeah, Surge Sparrow probably wouldn't be the best option. And as the C skill, if you have the fodder, you could give him, like, Speed Smoke 4, but it might be overkill. Yeah, a flow skill would really be, like, the biggest upgrade, I would say, if you have the fodder for it. Regan, this is a, this is New Year's Kaden. It's not the base Kaden. Hey, Deanna. I'm doing good, having a nice Saturday morning. Hope you're doing well as well. Elio says, let me fodder a Thor. I unironically think Flowguard is really good on him, so yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Trace is also very good, Ritsu. I guess it just depends on, like, where you're using him. Um, so I think it's, honestly, if it's one of your faves, who I'm pretty sure Kaden is one of Elio's faves, I think it's worth giving them all the fodder, just so that you can, you know, like, just use them whenever. Minimaster says Speed Smoke 4 is kind of meh on player phase builds. Like, sorta, but I think if Elio decides to swap out the B skill for Flow Guard, I think Speed Smoke 4 could be really good, because then he wouldn't be able to get away anymore with Trace, so he can initiate and then he's stuck there, like, in front of the foes. So I think Speed Smoke 4 could still be good on enemy phase. Hey, Grey Bearded Summoner. Okay, your timing is impeccable, because you are literally next on the list to be reviewed, so perfect timing. So yeah, let's take a look at your unit. Level 92 Duo Lin. That's awesome. So his comment is, they have cleared every abyssal for me since plus 10ing them, and while this is the Binding Worlds version, I like to imagine they are this strong anyway. Actually, Binding Worlds is back now, so if you guys want to grab some screenshots of your, like, level 90 plus units, that was the time to do it. Spark says, only 75 HP though, kinda mid, not gonna lie. Yeah, no, this is very strong. I think the only thing I would maybe swap is the B skill. I'm trying to think though, like, what can ranged flyers even use? Trace could work, but if you're one-turning stuff, you're not gonna get, like, too much mileage out of Trace. Wind Sweep would be an option, but then she can't quad. Disarm Trap is an option. Someone says Fallen Star, Builderfish. I like the way you think. Oh, I guess Brash Assault could work to guarantee the quads, but honestly, she can't take a hit anyway if she's... she just can't take a hit if her HP is low. Yeah, Disarm Trap is a good option. If you could run Brash Assault Desperation, it could be good. Fallen Star is not inheritable, Greybearded Summoner. It is not. That was a joke. But yeah, if you don't play AR, Disarm Trap's not worth it. Aside from that, I mean, if this works for you, I think it's fine. I think she's very hard to tank, even nowadays. And also for those of you in chat who are saying 99 attack and 99 speed, I'm pretty sure visible stats cap out at 99, so in all likelihood she actually has more than that. I don't know what the exact number is, but you could probably calculate it. Alright, this one from La Iesha. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. This is their fur. This fur is meant to survive, although it does struggle against most newer units. I do plan on replacing her A skill with attack speed finish 4, and then I might replace Soul with Vital Astra. Yeah, no, this is pretty good. I think you've already used the Ascended Floret, but if you have the trait fruits for it, I would probably give her plus attack. Just because I think Fur's biggest issue is not having a high enough attack. Like, this is a plus 10, plus 25 Dragonflower Summoner supported Fur, and she's still only got 52 attack. So I would probably use a trait fruit if you can and make her plus attack and plus speed. Her res is already very high, so I don't know if she needs it, especially with the extra damage reduction that you're getting. I do think attack speed finish would be really good on her if you're going to use her with a near saver. A far saver. But aside from that, I don't really know what Nameless Blade does, but if it's not that good, you could swap it out with Arcane Eleuthir. And then that would make the Vital Astra build a little bit better as well, I think. Yeah, aside from that, very good. Next up from Ricky's. This is their Lara Shell. She just recently got a respondent. I always forget this unit exists just because Reinhardt exists and I obviously have 2+10s of him. But I do think she can definitely fulfill a different kind of niche. So I don't know what her tome does. I don't think it's like amazing, but I think at the very least it's some stats, so that's pretty nice. If we ever get the Arcane Blue tome, I think she'd be a really good candidate for it. Oh, I'm gonna read Ricky's comments because it's really nice. They say, first of all, I want to thank you for always going above and beyond to give us an entertaining video /stream/tweet. Thank you, bestie. Secondly, this Lara Shell can survive and kill things she wasn't supposed to, and we all need the self-esteem she has. That's funny. Her tome gives a lot of res and healing. Such an interesting refine. So this is sort of like a tanky build, almost. Especially with the Speed Smoke 4. Yeah, this is actually really interesting. I think if you're using her to also tank in any way, I would probably swap out Blade Session for either like attack speed solo or even like attack defense solo or speed defense solo, something to boost her defense. I think you could do some interesting things with her if you boost her defense a little bit too. Needs a speed asset. Yeah, I would probably, if you have the trait fruits, I'd probably swap out the plus res to plus speed. You could use attack defense catch as the seal. I don't know how many stats that gives. Attack defense catch 3. Is that just +5? Because if so, I would still probably go with solo or form. But yeah, no, I do think Lara Shell, I like what you've done with her. I think that's kind of what makes her stand out from Reinhardt is the fact that you can do different things with her, whereas he pretty much like is just very good on player phase. But yeah, I think you could do some really interesting things with this build. How good do you think the form seals are? Coffee, I think they're actually really good. I was definitely sleeping on them when they came out, and as an A skill, there are better options. But as a seal, I think it's really good. Minnie, you are on the list, I promise. You were the 109th person to submit, so we'll hopefully get to yours. But yeah, if you submitted and you hit submit, trust me, it's there. All right, on to the next one from Verdant Regan. Guys, I'm sorry, I can't tell you exactly what number you are for everybody. It would just like take longer than going through the units. I'm really sorry. Yeah, I wasn't expecting this many people to submit either, but I guess a lot of people want to have their unit reviewed. Okay, so Shez. The Schweep. If any of you were here for that stream where my friend Jimmy +10'd his Shez instead of Arcane Leaf, that was fun. So it is Schweep time. Oh, hi Verdant Regan, you're in chat. Awesome. So yeah, he's running Godlike Reflexes, Distant Stance, Shield Pulse, Attack Speed Oath, and Mystic Boost. Definitely pretty interesting. Coffee says Speed Smoke 4 would be good. Yeah, I think Speed Smoke 4 would be good if you're initiating and then you just want to leave him there and have, you know, extra damage reduction. Update, he now has Distant Ferocity. Distant Ferocity I do think is much better on him because he has a Brave Weapon, so that's awesome. Shez is like the best Godlike Reflexes unit in the game. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Pairs with Brave really well. Aside from that, since this is meant to be a tank build, you could give him like a form seal maybe if you plan on leaving him near other people, or a solo if he's usually on his own. Aside from that, null follow-up seal could work, but probably not super necessary considering he probably kills most people in 2 hits. But yeah, he's a very good unit. And I think a lot of people would probably be foddering him off for Oath 4, but if you do want to invest in him, I do think he is a better version of female Shez, for sure. And it makes sense because he's 5-star exclusive. But yeah, he's very good. All right, next one from Basti/Garcia for Faye. They say, I plan to use this build with the new DC Captain skill to counter attack speed menace. Ritsu, if you want to go check out that stream, it's over on Jimmy's channel. I will actually link it. Give me a sec to pull that up. Yeah, if you guys want to watch that, it's up on their channel. Why can I not find the link for this? Sorry guys, just give me a sec. I am really struggling here. It's kind of hard to find Jimmy on YouTube because, like, Jimmy's a pretty common name. I am flopping. I'm really struggling here. Okay, found it. I will just link Jimmy's channel because I do not have the patience to scroll through the videos now. So yeah, this is Jimmy's channel. It should be pretty recent. It's called like Sweep or something like that. Okay, back to this brave Marth. Oh, and my lo-fi music mix is almost done. I'm gonna have to put on a new one soon. So, yeah, this is Brave Marth. I forgot the DC Captain skill was gonna be a thing because I don't play Summoner Duels very often. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's really good. Another option for the C skill would be like Speed Smoke 4. What lo-fi mix am I listening to? It's from Final Fantasy XIV. Just as a warning, if you don't want Final Fantasy Shadowbringers and Endwalker spoilers, don't watch the video. Just listen to the music. But yeah, I just linked it right now. But yeah, aside from that, this Marth, very strong. Mystic Boost, I could swap it out. You could swap it out for something that boosts attack and speed, maybe like a form, especially if you're running him near other people with the Unity. But I think Mystic Boost is pretty good too for the healing. Allison says, I have the most atrocious thing you'll see. Maybe next time you do unit reviews. Oh, pray tell. I'm just curious who the unit is, not the build. We'll leave that for next time. All right, next up is a build from Isaiah. This is their near save Rafael. Pretty good, pretty strong. Tannin Bow Plus, Pivot, Deadeye, Close Reversal, Crafty Fighter, Near Save, and Close Defense. Yeah, I mean, I think inherently units who have like a ranged weapon are probably going to be better at far save, but also then again Raphael's defense is just so high that this could actually work. So I think in general you probably would want to be running far save on him, but honestly his res is kind of low, so he might even do better as a near saver. So yeah. Tannin Bow I think is attack defense unity if I'm remembering correctly, so that's pretty good. So yeah, he just stacks defense really high. This man reaches probably like 70 defense. Are these the builds from the stream that I ended earlier? Yes, these are the builds from the stream that I ended earlier. We are just trying to go through as many of them as possible. Because we got a lot. All right. Next up is this one from Bentley. They have an Ascended Leg Yarn, who was a strong contender for who I wanted to put in the thumbnail just because she is super cool. Yeah, I think there's not really much to say about this. I think it's very good. I don't even know if I have any advice for this. I guess another option would be attack defense menace, but speed is also very good. Hey, Augusto! I have water next to me like you suggested. Ascended Leg Yarn is falling off, sadly, I know from experience. Is she? That's sad. I do think Menace has great synergy with the weapon, I agree, Coffee. Speed defense near trace would be better. Like, probably, but also I don't know if it's worth the extra fodder just because, like, attack defense far trace is more than good enough IMO. Oh, she does get countered by Lull, that's true, unfortunately. Menace on a 5-range unit. I mean, it's not as ideal as, like, on a melee cav, probably, but I still think it's pretty good. Yeah, the main thing with traces is the Canto, not the debuffs. I agree. Lull Guard. I don't think she can, like, is that a thing? Lull Guard? Do you mean Null Guard? Is there even a speed defense far trace yet? I would assume so, but I don't know. Speed defense tempo? But can calves run that? It's just infantry, right? So, yeah. Oh yeah, wind sweep is another thing that you could do. It's true. Okay, next one from Mystic. This is Summer Leone. Yeah, we saw a very similar one in the previous build. I think he's very strong. You could swap out Distant Counter for, like, one of the other DC skills. But I guess you don't really have to. The only one that would be, I think, really good on him is the one with Attack in it. I don't remember what it's called, but Duo Duma has it. But I don't really think it's worth the fodder, so... I don't even know if I would recommend that. He has the power crept version of his own inheritable weapon. Yeah, someone points out you could give him attack defense bulwark. That's true. I do think that would actually be really good on him now that you mention it. It's kind of rare fodder though, so I get that you probably don't have the fodder for it. Oh, the caption that they submitted was Leon got me acting unwise, blush emoji. I do really like his summer art. I think it's very cute. Alright, next up from Fabian. This +9 Boyd. He's built around hitting hard. Frenzy helps him survive one hit and supports his player phase afterwards. I can't wait to use him in Arena once I get the last merge from this month's Ephemera pool after the update. Yeah, honestly, I cannot believe his attack gets that high. Wow. Oh, I think the lo-fi mix might be over. Let's go put on another one. Alright. We got another one on. But yeah, this is pretty slay. Good point, Ray. This is someone who could actually run an AoE build decently. I agree, Ritsu. I always thought Boyd is actually very underrated. I think his weapon is definitely one of the better free weapons. But yeah. aside from that, aside from potentially giving him an AoE, I don't really know if I would swap anything. I guess, yeah, if you're running an AoE, Special Spiral could work. But, yeah. This is pretty good. Coffee, apparently, according to Fabian, whose build this is, he is able to survive one hit with the Frenzy. So, yeah. I think this is very strong. Between my +10 Boyd, Liv Stella, and soon Gerald, is it obvious that attack is my favorite stat? I would say so, bestie. Tempo better than Frenzy? I guess, but the thing is, because they're running double life and death, they kind of need that damage reduction to survive. But you could run Velocity, which has damage reduction and half tempo. So yeah, that could actually work pretty well. But they also say that they like the Desperation from Frenzy for future turns, so I mean, I don't know. If this works, like, I probably would just leave it as is. One sneeze from a magic attack and he's gone. True. How do you get out, though? In Arena, you need tanky stuff. Yeah, I guess, good point. They mentioned they want to use him in Arena, but this probably wouldn't work too well in Arena. Oh, chat's pointing out he's missing null follow-up in his seal. Correct. Give him null follow-up. Who needs null follow-up when you one-shot? I guess, yeah. Alright. Next one from Xander. Xander has a Winter Hilda. Oops, sorry guys, closing all the other units first. So Winter Hilda. Steadfast Lance. Unity, Special Fighter, Near Save. I don't know what Steadfast Lance does. Sorry guys, I just really don't know so many of these weapons. I don't know what they do. But yeah, no, I think this is pretty good. I think if you have the fodder for it, Savvy Fighter works really well on Hilda. Augusto's pointing out she would be really good with an arcane weapon. That's true. I don't know if we'll be getting another arcane weapon so soon, but maybe. Hi, Chris. No, I haven't gone through a Summer Sylvain yet. I think we went through one in the last stream, so potentially that could have been you last week, but today we haven't, so I don't really know. But yeah, Savvy Fighter I've heard is really good on her. Oh, hey, bestie. You're actually in chat to see it. Stout Lance might be better, or Courtly Candle. Oh, true. Steadfast Lance has penalty neutralization, so you're actually not getting anything out of the Unity, because your Lance is neutralizing the penalties, so Unity is literally just giving you +5 attack defense. So I would swap out the Lance for Courtly Candle could be an option. Someone points out Piercing Tribute. I think that's on Valentine's Owain. I do think that could also be really good on her. Or, honestly, just, I guess if you want to wait for the arcane weapon. I don't know how long it'll take to get an arcane lance, but, yeah. I don't think Unbound Lance... If Unbound Lance is what I think it is, the one where you have to be solo, I don't really think that's the best options, just because, Near Save always counts you as being adjacent to someone, so Unbound will never activate. But yeah, Piercing Tribute, if you have a Valentine's Owain, I think would be very good. Aside from that, yeah, if you, as long as you can figure out the anti-synergy between Steadfast Lance and Unity, I think you're good. And if you have Savvy Fighter. But I know that's pretty rare fodder still, so yeah. Alright, we have got this next build from BM. It's Joshua. Another contender for who I wanted to put on the thumbnail, because it's just very slay. He's very good. I would probably swap out the B skill for something like Tempo. Unless he already has Null Guard, but I don't think so. But yeah, Crosshair, I was just about to say that. Give him Tempo, if you have it, and Null Follow-Up Seal. Very, very strong. I agree, he is very annoying, but nobody uses him. I guess just because not a lot of people pulled on that banner. But I think he's actually very strong. But yeah, Fire Sweep is just one of those effects that, like, for tanks, unless you're Ascended Fiorm, it's just very hard to get around. That's true. Maddie points out he might lack stats with the Null Follow-Up Seal. I agree. I guess if you're giving him Flashing Blade 4, maybe his attack is not high enough. Like, his attack and speed are not high enough if you're also giving him the Null Follow-Up Seal. So, yeah, I guess another option could be to swap out his A skill, but yeah. Bye, Storm Eagle. Thanks for stopping by. Have fun being social. But yeah. Oh, on a Catria Ball, Coffee points out, with Ascended Fiorm, he could get lethality on the second hit with a Catria Ball. So, yeah. Hey, Mero. Even with Fiorm, this dude is annoying sometimes. True. Bye, Gio. Thank you for stopping by and thank you for the donations. Yes, I'm thinking, someone in chat pointed out, like, maybe next time we could do, like a submit your crazy builds, like I review your meme builds kind of thing. I think it could be fun to do a themed thing. Like if I do this like on an every week basis, just so that it doesn't get, you know, boring, we could do like a different theme every week. So if you guys think that sounds like a cool idea, let me know. I do not have the fodder for meme builds. Hi, Triggerless. Yes, unfortunately, it's too late to submit. We've still got like 200 submissions, so yeah. Hopefully next time, though. Review funny AR teams. I think it's harder to review an entire AR team, but yeah. I still think funny builds would be fun. I'd like that idea, might lead to more creativity. I agree, Plasma Wolf, because I really feel like I'm just sitting here telling everybody, like, hey, use the Null Follow-Up Seal. And Velocity, and Tempo, and like, I think it'd be fun to have something a little bit different. Connor Zach saw my stream and said I copied him because he had the exact same idea. I didn't watch Connor Zach's stream, so I don't think I copied him. But yeah, no, I just didn't watch that stream. Yeah. Anyways, on to the next one. From Salty. This is their Brave Dimitri. I think this is very good. I think his refine is just so insane that, like, even without merges, he's just very strong. You could give him no follow-up seal, but I've heard that he's tanky enough even without it, so I don't know if it's necessary. Yeah, someone said he's insanely low maintenance thanks to his refine. Yeah, like, you can pretty much do anything with him. I've seen him, I saw, like, a damage forecast of, like, a Lewin hitting, like, the damage forecast was, like, 70 times 4 or something, and Dimitri took, like, almost no damage. But yeah. I think this is very strong, and I don't really have much advice for it. Alright, next one from Fat Titian. This is their Lysithea. Just wanted to draw attention to Lysithea because her refine was heavily underestimated. If you run this build, you proc Astra every engage, and with null follow-up support, she can even kill Hardy Fighter Brave Hector as a red unit. You can run Special Spiral from multiple enemies or tempo for one turn nuke. Ever since I made this build for my dark defense, I haven't had a single defense where someone didn't lose a unit. Yeah, this is... I honestly am one of those people who think that Brave Lysithea definitely flew under the radar. I think she's a really good nuke. Mero says I got screwed over by that Lysithea this week. LMFAO. Oh, wow, yeah. She gets so many stats from this build, and from her weapon, and, like, she's just really strong. Yeah, like, this just pierces through, like, everything. Fallen Edelgard is the litmus test for casuals, and Brave Hector is the litmus test for people who want to get into AR and stuff like that. Honestly, pretty much, like, Brave Hector is still the most ubiquitous Farsaver. Like, I can't think of anyone else who is more commonly used. And I don't know if you guys can. Lysithea. True. Next up is Inferno with, I don't know what the unit is. Let's open it up. Ooh, Seahark. Very strong. Arcane Eleuthir, Vital Astra, Surge Sparrow, Velocity times Pulse. Shield Session is probably the only thing I would switch. Because, like, I'm not sure if that was an accident or if it was on purpose. But I definitely think you could give him no follow-up. You could give him attack speed, something, Blade Session. Yeah. I don't even know if this is mixed phase just because Surge Sparrow isn't mixed phase. So, like, I don't know if that works. Roasting your units, invested speed on Aversa. I actually think Aversa's speed is definitely worth investing in, like, unironically. Like, my Aversa reaches, like, 60 speed. I think it's very good. I will admit giving her speed preempt was a bit of a meme because I really like her and I pulled 3 Brave Violets, but, no, I do think speed on Aversa is very good. I agree, Velocity is just so awesome. It's just really the best damage reduction skill, like, for the most part. Chat, do I meme and do Arcane Eleuthir Mirabilis? Honestly, you might actually catch some people off guard with that on your defense team, but I don't know if it's worth it. Yeah, I just don't know if it's worth it. Sorry, I just hit the mic with my hand. Alright, next up is this build from Alfric fan. They submitted Alfric with the caption, "He's a cool guy." So Bridal Orchid, we talked about this earlier in the stream. I think it's bonus doubler for attack res or something like that. But yeah, like, this is pretty good. I don't know if I would have gone with Defense Res Smoke. I probably would have gone with Attack Res Menace, but yeah, I think this is decent. Just a lot of res and a lot of attack. I agree, Crosshair. Pathfinder is such a weird effect for Defense Res Smoke. I agree. It's a little weird to me, and I don't know many units who use it very well. But yeah, I mean, it's such expensive fodder that at this point I'd probably just leave it on him. Hey, Iris. Hope you're having a great Saturday, bestie. But yeah, do you guys have any suggestions for this Alfric? I don't really know. Someone says finally a better unit than Brave Lysithea. Oh god. Y'all are funny. But yeah, you know, I'm gonna start going quicker for these units just so that we get through more. Alright, next up is this build from Bathtub. I think this is really, really strong. White Cat Bow, obviously with the Brave effect, really good. Catch, really good. Speed Smoke 4, really good. Although, probably, I'm saying this as someone with Speed Smoke 4 in my New Year's Fafnir. It doesn't give me much. It doesn't do much for me. So maybe you would want Menace if you already have it on him or if you want to give it to him. But no, this is really good. This is really strong. And the Bonfire is a really cool touch just because he's one of those rare player phase units who can actually also have really good defense. So yeah. Yeah, Matt, you are on the list, but I just checked and I won't tell you the exact number, but you're pretty far down. People just like submitted really quickly. We had, I think, like 200 submissions within the first like hour. So I'm sorry about that. All right, but yeah, we're gonna start going really fast, guys. Next build, Dragon King with their Corrin. Really long description. I can't really read all of it. But let's see why they picked Defense Res Smoke, because they explained why. They say it combos greatly with her weapon as she gets debuffs on all stats of foes within 2 spaces of her after combat, and grants Pathfinder to herself to help her gain a bit more distance. But the Pathfinder is just to help others around her, right? Giratina, no, your Sanaki hasn't passed yet. Unfortunately, you're also really low on the list, like almost the last one. I'm so sorry, bestie. But yeah, I don't know if Corrin herself is that good of a unit anymore. But I do think she can be a decent niche pick. I think if she gets a Resplendent, it would really help a lot too. Distant Foil's an interesting pick. Not really sure if I would run it though, unless your exclusive goal is to have her counter to daggers and bows. But yeah. Who do I think is the best user of Defense Res Smoke? Probably like a player phase unit, honestly. A player phase unit who you know can initiate and survive and not die, and then you help other people get around too. Although I honestly just don't know if the skill itself is that good anyway. Yeah, Defense Res Menace is another option, because then she doesn't have to initiate. But yeah. Alright, next one. We're going fast. This is from Morgwolf. They say, this is probably my most impressive build. Guard Bearing and Deflect Missile make her basically immune to most bow units, especially Legendary Leaf. Her C-skill and weapon are perfect synergy, and the updated DC gives her as much killing power as possible. Great arena unit, best art. I honestly think Ninja Levitin is extremely slept on. I've only run into her once or twice, and she's actually really good. Like, I think this is a super cool build. Yeah. I don't know if I would swap anything. I guess if you want to use her as like a more player phase type unit, you could give her Trace, but clearly this is more of like a player phase build. I do agree, Ritsu. I think her art is really nice. Yeah, like pretty much nobody pulled for her, but I honestly think she's really good. But yeah, no, this is really, really good. I forgot. I knew she had the Brave effect on enemy phase, or on both phases, but I forgot she also had the Blade Tome effect. So yeah, I think that pairs really well with Menace. Awesome build. Alright, gotta go fast. Next on to Censored Beans. This is Soth. That's a pretty interesting build with the AoE. I didn't realize his attack could reach that high. Yeah, I guess that's pretty good. Why is Soth on a chalkboard? Because they submitted a screenshot where he was in someone else's video, and they didn't crop it out, so yeah. But yeah, no, Soth is definitely one of those units who got a decent refine, and I don't think that many people have it built, so, yeah. In general, I don't know too much about, builds with AoEs because I'd never use them myself, but I mean, it's pretty good. Let's see. Next one from Henry. They included a translation, which is very nice of them. So they're running Reposition, Moonbow, Attack Speed Solo 3, Wind Sweep, Rouse Attack Res, and Attack Res Solo. Oh, thank you. They say I really enjoy your videos. Thank you. I appreciate it. They say with her Refine granting her offensive null follow-up, Wind Sweep is really good on her. She's also able to get plus 28 attack in combat and kills a lot of even green units. Against dragons, she does not take much damage because of her high resistance either. Currently waiting for attack speed catch 4 and attack res menace or speed res menace fodder. Yeah, I think this is really, really good. The only thing I really would have recommended is perhaps upgrading the A skill, but it looks like you're waiting for catch 4 anyway, and also upgrading the C skill to menace would be really good. I just realized like she's really one of those units who is a very good user of Wind Sweep because her res is high enough that she doesn't need to run Water Sweep. Like she can just naturally be fine against units who can counterattack and attack her res. So yeah. Her attack is quite low though, so that is a good point. I would probably swap out the attack res solo seal as well. Like her res is just so high that I would probably go for like attack speed solo or form or something. But it looks like you're going with the solo and the A skill too, so I would probably just use attack speed solo. But yeah, no, this is really strong. Really, really good. Don't see her very often. Okay. This is from Venial AJ. They didn't include a submission. Description. Laser waffles. I could check. What name did you submit under Laser Waffles? Because I'm searching up waffle. You're soonish. I haven't passed you yet. But yeah, so onto Charlotte. Really the only thing I would change is probably null follow-up seal. I think this is very good. Oh, and yeah, they included the hearts on the Charlotte as well. Yeah. I think this is really good. Only thing I would swap out is the seal. Awesome job. Alright. This submission from Chris. Sylvain. I think Chris was in chat earlier asking if we had reviewed a Sylvain. So if you're still around, Chris, we're looking at your Sylvain now. So let's see what Chris said. He also has green dual cap 4 and attack speed solo 4. I only got blue flame from holoform, so here he is with that. P.S. I also have a plus 10 brave Claude, but I'm assuming that many will be submitting their Claude, so I'm gonna be unique. Yeah, no, this is a really good Sylvain. Pretty, I want to say basic build, but it's just very good. Like, for Cavs who don't have a PRF, who are offensive, this is pretty much just your ideal build. Another option is Speed Res Menace, or Attack Speed Menace, but this is more than good enough. Also, if you've got Floor It, go plus attack. You could also probably make the seal a little bit different, like Attack Speed Solo or Form. Especially since you're running Pledgian Torch, it seems like you want to be solo anyway. I would probably go with Attack Speed Solo Seal. Or if you want to go for just the player phase, you could go Blade Session. Alright, next up is Matroid with their Air. Oh, this is so cool. Thank you for submitting this, Matroid. You really don't see her, like, with anything other than her base kit, so I love to see this offensive Air. They didn't submit a description, but yeah. Ray, what name did you submit under? Because I searched up your YouTube name and I don't see anything. Is it just Ray? But yeah, no, like, Air's Refine is actually pretty decent. And I think Sparkling Boost is definitely an upgrade. Definitely a really big upgrade, so I think this is super cool. Outside of Air, she could also run a Trace or Preempt skill. True. Lethality, you're right. Lethality, like, it's not going to charge very often, but because her attack is so low, I think it could be really good. From Felix, we've got this Icy Gift Giver Felix. It's kind of small. Let's zoom in a tiny bit. Yes, Plasma Wolf, that's a good point. Unfortunately, you know, I'm just gonna say right now, I'm gonna stop checking when your unit is. I'm really sorry, guys, but it is just delaying the progress, so super sorry about that. But yeah, he's running Spendthrift Bow, Drawback, Glimmer, Death Blow, Special Fighter. So I guess this is like a player phase Felix, I guess. I think you could definitely turn him into a far save unit if you have the fodder for it, but I know it's kind of limited because as it is now, Death Blow is only helping you on player phase, and Spendthrift is better in enemy phase IMO. So I think if you have far save fodder, I think it would just be really, really strong to give him that, and then as the A skill, you could swap it out and replace it with Unity or with Distant Defense 4. Yeah, no, I think this could be really good. But if you do want to go player phase, what can be really strong is if you give him Bold Fighter and Brave Bow. I think that's really strong. He might not even need Bold Fighter because he's already pretty fast, but I think that could be an interesting option. Or Pledging with Attack, Defense, Menace. That's true. But yeah, no, I think like Felix is one of those units who is pretty versatile, so I think you can do a lot of things with him. Okay, next one from JC. The caption is just Gremlin. So this is their Noe build. Yeah, I definitely think Noe as a unit, because she got DC, is a very strong arena unit if you have the infantry, the dual infantry fodder for her. Yeah, I think she's really good. Defensor's Menace is an interesting option. I guess it's like a supportive option. Vlad says you could give her the null follow-up seal. True. Yeah, Warding Breath isn't doing super much for you here, because like your Ether is 6 cooldown anyway. And guys, I know Noe can be a controversial unit, and I also don't like the way they've handled her outfit, but I think it's okay to be a Noe fan. I think it's okay to be a Noe fan and build her. Okay, next from Levi. This is another Sylvain. They say pretty standard build, but I just wanted to show off one of my favorite units. Attack speed form is not the most synergistic with Grunvulture, but I also like to run Amity Blooms, which works perfectly with it. I hope we can get a good Arcane Green Tome. Yeah. Super strong. This is very similar to the Sylvain we saw before. And this is kind of like one of the most ideal builds for him. I don't think he's a particularly meta unit, but if you're a fan of Sylvain, I think this summer version of him is actually really good. Alright, next up from Gia. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This Galley. He's running Candy Cane, which I think has Guard. Attack Defense Unity, Guard Bearing, Attack Defense Menace, and Deflect Magic. Interesting. So it looks like you're going for a tanky build. I guess Deflect Magic is because you can't counterattack against ranged units, but honestly, I would probably just specialize him to be a melee threat. Like, especially if you run him with a Farsaver, if you have one. I think you could swap out the Deflect Magic for something like Attack Defense Form, I think would be really good. But yeah, I think he's actually pretty strong. He has a really cool stat line. Hey, Wacky Warrior. Also, sorry, Crosshair. I really do think it delays progress to check how far people are down the list, so sorry for doing it for previous units, but I'm not going to do it going forward. So next up from Rabbit. They say this is my Ether Raids build for him, supported by Asker to make sure he gets Ignis off every combat if the enemy doesn't have tempo. This is really strong. This is honestly like modern day Lucas as a green beast. Very similar stat line to OG Lucas. If you're using him on enemy phase, which it looks like, might I recommend a different A skill? You could give him like close defense 4, but I guess if he doesn't need it, it might not be worth it. Just because like attack defense ideal, like yeah, he's not going to be taking any damage from units who target defense, but units who target res are going to hit him pretty hard. Sturdy Stance is another option, but then you would have to swap out Steady Breath because they're... Oh wait, no. Do Sturdy Stance and Steady Breath still work fine together? Because Sturdy Stance has Guard and Steady Breath has Breath. Yeah, okay, you're fine then. Yeah, so he already has Guard, so a tier 3 stance is not that good. Okay, I didn't realize he already had Guard. But yeah. I love to see units like this who just focus so much on like 1 or 2 stats that they're just really good at that. But yeah, if he doesn't have Guard, which I'm not sure because I don't know the weapon, you could give him Sturdy Stance. Could work. Alright, next on to this build from Ouija. They say FUBK. I can't read that out loud. But so this is their Grail build. They don't like Black Knight for a very specific reason. So Pledgian Axe, Distant Stance, Crafty Fighter, Attack Defense Menace. I think this is pretty good, but I would probably swap out Attack Defense Menace for a save skill if you have it. I think he'd be a pretty decent near saver, but that would kind of require like overhauling his entire build because Pledgian works only if you're solo. Distant Stance also doesn't synergize super well with near save, and also defense res solo. But if you're up for it, I think he'd actually be a really good near saver with how high his defense and res are. So you could give him, I don't know, what's a good axe for near savers? Stout Axe, someone says? Yeah. Don't keep Pledging if you make him a near saver. For the A skill, you could give him Close Defense 4 or Sturdy Stance. And then give him like Attack Defense Form or Defense Res Form or something as his seal. But yeah, super cool. Don't really see Grail built often, so it's cool to see. Next up from Guts, we've got a Saber. JD asks what lo-fi mix is that. I'll send the link to it. It's a Final Fantasy XIV one. So, this Saber. They say Saber is my favorite character of all time and his build is a bit more boring after Rearmed Leaf came out, so I thought I'd submit what his build was before. Love your channel and thanks for the awesome content. Thank you, Guts. Appreciate it. But yeah, this is super strong. Attack res finish is really cool on him. Because I didn't realize his res could get that high. I don't know if Quickened Pulse is the ideal option. If you could find a way to maybe use him alongside Asker, to give him -1 cooldown instead, or like Infantry Pulse or something. Or Times Pulse. But Speed Smoke 4 is pretty good. And if you do have attack speed finish, I would probably give him that instead. But I get that not everybody has that. But yeah, maybe swap out the seal, see if you can get that Quickened Pulse elsewhere. But yeah, no, this is really good. Also, yeah, someone says you could swap out Velocity as well. Could work. Yeah. But yeah, I think with the Resplendent and at +10, he's actually really strong. I'm going to pause to take a drink of water. So if you guys have water next to you, go drink some water. All right, on to the next. This is Kana from Chihiro. They say, one of my first 5 stars I've gotten and been building slowly but surely. I don't really summon for fodder, so her kit is just skills that I've gotten over time from pity breakers. Distant Counter Dragons, obviously a very good pick on her. Attack speed ideal, null speed disrupt, rouse speed, attack speed 4. I think this is pretty good. Yeah, you're going for like a DC null speed disrupt build. Definitely really good counter to like staff units. I would say if you have trait fruits and are up for it, maybe swap her to plus speed instead. Because you don't have like a quick riposte or anything on her. And the speed is like pretty high, but nowadays 50 speed just doesn't really cut it. Or like, I guess you're reaching like 55, but I think plus speed would probably be better than plus res. But aside from that, no, this is pretty good. Res attack speed 4 also maybe isn't the best pick if you happen to have like a menace skill. You could do that. Augusta also points out she needs Dragon Wrath 4. True, but Chihiro says they don't really summon for fodder, so it's just whatever they have laying around. So if you have Dragon's Wrath 4, or the other one, I think, what's the other one? Dragon's Ire 4? Could be really good. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, Dragon's Ire would probably be a little bit better. Gonna take another drink of water. My throat feels parched. But yeah, no, it's cool Kana. I also have a merged Kana just because she kept pity breaking me back when she was a 5 star. So I might also build her. You've inspired me. Next from Haxi. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This is my Felicia. She was the first unit in Fae that I promoted to 5 stars back when the game first launched, and basically the only reason I still play. That's awesome. I love to see people loving their favorite units. And this is what they use in Arena. I would probably swap out the B skill for maybe Tempo, if you have it. And then give her the null follow-up seal. I don't know if Distant Defense is doing much. And Joint Drive Res if you have Attack Speed Menace, or maybe even Attack Defense Menace. Or actually, she does adaptive damage, so I think Attack Speed Menace is better. You could go Defense Res Menace, but it's just so limited that I don't think it's worth it. But yeah, Attack Speed Menace to boost your attack and speed would be really solid. And probably swap out the seal for something different. Next up from Nick. This Avel. They say, this is my favorite build that I've ever come up with for Avel. She tanks hits and obliterates almost everyone with her special. She's paired up with a Harmonized Leaf so she can also get Desperation if needed. Yeah, Avel should have been a 4-star focus before they existed. She should not have been a 5-star exclusive. But yeah, Arcane Elite Theory, I just realized, is really quite good on her. Especially since she's pretty fast, too. So it's almost like a soft null follow-up. Yeah, I honestly don't have any tips for this. This is really good. Oh, attack smoke on the arcane weapon. Okay, maybe not then. Maybe not. Maybe swap out attack smoke 4 for like attack speed or defense menace or something. But yeah, very, very good. From Chompy Gator, we've got this legendary Azura. Hi, Iguana. Okay, so yeah, she's just running her Refine. This is what they use in Arena to score well in Water Season. I do think merges probably the biggest thing. Fortress Defense is probably something I would swap out. I assume you probably were just like swapping around seals and ended up with Fortress Defense, but I think honestly almost anything would be better. Philip, I don't think this is to prevent her from attacking, just because they say they use this in Arena. So, yeah, like they use this when they're going in Arena. But yeah, no, Trace is really good on her. I might recommend, if you have Cross Spur Attack, probably a better version of it, but I know it's very limited fodder. But yeah, just really pretty much just swap out the seal and you're good to go. She's still a very good unit to this day. Someone says for arena, I'd run a more supportive seal. Yeah, something like drive attack. There aren't that many good supportive seals now that I think about it. Like, there are a lot. The seal slot is a very selfish slot for the most part. So really, like, the only options for support are like something like drive attack, which is not that amazing. It's like 3 attack. Chill, you could run a chill, yeah. Guidance, true. I forgot about the flyer mobility skills, so you could do that. Alright, next from Naked Toaster. Interesting name. This is their Brave Edelgard. They say, my favorite build and best character in my barracks. I was just wondering if there's anything I could do to improve her. Thanks. So I would probably, like, this is obviously a very strong build, but if you have the fodder for it, I would give her close defense 4 instead of distant counter, because you're going with the near save build, so distant counter isn't helping a lot, unless you're using her as a near saver and for distant counter, but I would probably swap that out for attack defense unity or close defense 4. And also, if you're running with steady breath, it's kind of redundant alongside noontime, so maybe give her soul instead, because then the cooldown for that synergizes a lot better. But yeah, aside from that, super strong. Or if you want to run noontime, you could swap out the seal for something like close defense. Or you could give her bonfire, damaging special. People are saying she already has healing in her weapons, so yeah, maybe give her bonfire then and stick with steady breath. Alright, next build from Tata Cool. They say, I usually run this build in arena as an enemy phase bait tank, with a maxed out Soleil and +0 Milla, both stacked with Life and Death 4 and the Life and Death 3 seal, and Fortress Defense Res, A skill, and seal, as well as Thor to provide Zane with accelerated specials. Yeah, like Zane is so interesting. I feel like when used properly, his stats can get crazy high, so I'm glad to hear you found 2 good units to partner him up with. But yeah, I think this is really good, and if you manage to pick up some more merges, he will score better in arena as well. And if you give him Dragon Flowers. Merges don't matter for stats, yes, Coffee, but they're using him in arena, so he would just score better. Did I go over a legendary Marth build? No, I haven't yet. We did do a Brave Marth, but not legendary. But yeah, null follow-up seal could work. Yeah, someone says the problem with Zane is that you pretty much have to build the entire team around him, and if he dies, you basically lose instantly. True. So just make it so that he doesn't die. Simple. I'm joking, but no. I do think he's a really unique and cool unit. Alright, next from Blaze. This is their Kaze. They say, this is my first +10. I love using him in arena. Ooh, I don't even know what Kaze's Needle does, but it looks like it has Flashing Blade. This is really interesting. Because, like, you'd think lethality is kind of counterintuitive. But actually, it kind of makes sense considering, like, it sort of makes sense. But, honestly, I would boost his speed if I were you. Because you're not really boosting his speed at all, just through his refine. So, at least for the seal, I feel like there are much better options than Fortress Defense Res. So, maybe something like attack speed form or attack speed solo. I think you need a little bit more speed and attack if you can. But yeah, I just realized, like, because he has the blade effect, I think lethality is actually really good. Ritsu says he really wants to counter that one mage that ruined his arena run. True. Someone says they also use attack speed unity on Kaze. That could work too. Alright, we're gonna move on. Next from Jokes. It's spelled Jokes. AAX, so I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. They say Speedy Fae for Arena, and occasional Pawns of Loki usage. This is really cool, actually. I'm personally debating giving my Fae Dragon's Ire 4, but I think this is pretty slay as well. I think Eternal Breath is just so good in Arena because, like, you can buff your whole team super easily. And unless you're running into someone with a Versa, like me, the buffs are really valuable, I think. It's +5 to everything, right? Just to people within 2 spaces unconditionally, which is super cool. And I really wish I had Green Duel 4 for my Fae. If I had her, I would build her too. So yeah, I would just, I don't even know if I'd swap anything. If you have Blue Flame, it's a bit of an upgrade over Ether, but probably not worth it. And I agree, her Resplendent art is adorable, Rickon. Alright, from Jasir, we've got Colm. They say, hello, this is my Colm project that I'm currently working on. If there's anything you need me to change with this build, feel free to tell me in your live stream because I might not be there to watch your stream. Okay, so if someone in chat could let me know what Florid Knife does, that'd be very much appreciated. Oh, it's the Canto Dagger. Okay, that's pretty cool. So Sparrow, no follow-up, Dirge of attack speed solo. If you're using this in Ether Raids, which I think would actually work decently because you have the Canto, you could consider giving him Disarm Trap as the B. If you want to use him as a Wings of Mercy beacon as well, in Ether Raids, if you want to do like a Gale Force type strategy, you could run Fury 4 in his A skill, and then Fury 3 as his seal, alongside Disarm Trap. That's how I run my New Year's Fafnir, it's pretty good. Disarm Trap seal when? Maybe never. But... Oh, someone's saying you could do Wind Sweep plus Null Follow-Up Seal. True, you could do that too. I just feel like he is one of those units who, because he has high attack and speed, you can kind of take in any direction. Someone points out that with Canto, he can go back and make the Pathfinder easier. But I feel like if you're talking about running defense res smoke on him, it would almost feel redundant, at least like the defense res part of it, just because, does it inflict like defense and res debuffs on the foe? Because if so, it kind of redundant considering the dagger debuffs, and I don't know if it's worth it just for the Pathfinder. But no, like, there are so many things you could do with this unit. Your build is great, but if you want to invest a little bit more, you could even give him something like Tempo. Alright, next from Mr. B, we've got this Lucina. So, okay, so her remix gives her a guaranteed follow-up, right? And Wind Sweep stops her from following up, so I think it's just a speed check at that point. So you could go Null Follow-Up Sacred Seal if you really want to make sure, because, like, there are a lot of units nowadays that, that have effects that negate your follow-up, like Hardy Fighter, they negate your guaranteed follow-up. So I think no follow-up seal could be really good on her. Aside from that, this is really strong. You could give her attack speed finish, someone points out. I do think that would be pretty good on her. You could also give her tempo, but even this is quite good. Alright, from K Manok 1. Plus 10 Tiki. Wow. This is really strong. I think... Okay, my Summer Claude actually was able to quad and kill a Tiki because he had Ruptured Sky. So I feel like, having spoken to other Brave Tiki users as well, one of her biggest weaknesses is that she doesn't have guard. So if you want to give her something like Mirror Stance, or maybe even use her alongside someone with Ruse if you're using her in Ether Raids, I think having guard on her could be pretty helpful. But I mean, if you haven't had any issues with that, attack res finish is just fine too. Pulse Smoke is an interesting option, I guess, to... Actually, now that I think about it, does that even make sense? Because she can already preempt specials anyway, so I don't know if Pulse Smoke is doing much for you. I might give her... like, a Menace skill, but I don't even know which one. I don't really know. But Pulse Smoke is probably not the best option. So you could give her, like, attack defense menace, attack res menace, probably attack res menace. She comes with defense res menace. Okay, yeah, then probably just stick with that. Alright, let's see. From Thomas, we've got a +10 Fjorm. They say this is my pride and joy. Built her to make her an amazing Omni tank. Yeah, that's really strong. We love the Ascended Defense and Res with the Bracing Stance. So I guess you're going for like a mixed phase build. Unless you're running this in Arena, I would probably swap out Ether for something else. I don't think she has Slaying in her weapon, so you could give her like Noontime. I do worry this Fjorm doesn't do that much damage, so I don't know, but I think this is still pretty good. You could give her no follow-up seal, that's true, Blaz. Yeah, I don't know if Steady Breath is doing too much here. But yeah, aside from that, very tanky. Fjorm is one of those units who really benefits from all of her stats. But now that I'm thinking about it, you could give her no follow-up seal, but I feel like you'd have to boost her speed somehow else. And in general, like, her speed is pretty low, so I don't know, like, if you wanted to boost it somehow, because she probably has trouble following up. But I guess if she doesn't die, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, no, this is really good. Alright, so this is Fallen Barkut from Max. This is their Pride and Joy, their highest merged 5-star exclusive. I use him for clearing almost every PvE map. He scores well in Arena due to high merges and skills. He defends an AR Chaos Season, and I even use him successfully in Summoner duels. Honestly, his Refine is... It's definitely, like, among the more underwhelming ones of late, but it's still pretty good. Like, it's still pretty solid against most units, so yeah. And the art. This art is just one of the best arts in the game IMO. Because he has what? He has DC in his weapon. He has, essentially stops people from making a follow-up. Does he still deal chip damage to the people around him? Because if so, Medius, I think, would be a really interesting partner for this. But yeah, I don't really know if I have anything else to recommend. Probably swap out attack, defense, catch now that I'm thinking about it. The seal. So maybe like attack, defense, form. Or attack, res, form if you want to make his res higher too. Hi, Wiccan. Barkut is awesome. True, I think he's cool. Although he has some issues. Alright, next up is Evernight. With their +10 Crimson Flash Marissa. I think she's really good. I think she's one of the best users of Vital Astra, honestly. And I've been thinking of building her. Like, she's very good. I know Naji, the Feytuber, also has a +10 Vital Astra Marissa, and she's just so good. People are saying no follow-up seal. It's an option. Yeah, you could do that, but her stats, like, I feel like she needs those extra stats. Iris points out velocity could work for sure. But yeah, no, there are a couple tweaks you can make to this, but even as it is, it's very strong. All right, from 7 Empist. Let's see what they've got. Thanks to the new arcane weapon, I could finally make my favorite unit meta. She used to be running a near save build, but thanks to Hardy Fighter, she can now work as a far save build. And they say they want to pick up Distant Guard on Young Ike's return. They say, so far I haven't found a unit that could kill her in a single round of combat. Not even Duo Crom or Summer Micaiah. Yeah, this is really good. I definitely think she's one of the best users of Arcane Eleuther. Giratina says, I'm really excited for the trailer tonight since they'll show off the new Veronica sprite as an enemy, and I want to see if my theory craft of her is correct. I think it'll be really cool to see her. Alright. This next one is from Terrakion? Terrakion? Sorry, bestie. I know who you are. I feel like I mispronounce your name every time I say it. This is their legendary Corrin. That's a really good build. Oh, so were you about to leave? I'm so sorry, bestie. I'm so sorry. But anyway, very cool Corrin. I'm gonna do this fast. If you have attack speed finish, I would give it to her. Dragon's Ire could also work, but this is really strong. This is really strong, and I'm pretty sure this was made before attack speed finish even existed, so that's probably why they've got attack rest finish. But yeah, like, very, very strong. Ritsu says, yo, that Halloween Corrin looks dope. Yeah, I don't really have any advice for this. Oh, Rickon says needs special activation help. I guess that's true. But I feel like even without her special activating every combat, she's still really good. Yeah. I think she's one of those units who has aged really, really well. Damage reduction specials have aged really well. Oh, she's on an infantry pulse team. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, sorry about that, bestie. I hope you have a wonderful time at work, and I'm glad the timing worked out so well for that. Alright. Namie from Ari. Ooh, this is really cool. You really don't see her, like, often. And I think Ari, if Ari is who I'm thinking, they're from Twitter, and they're a big fan of Namie. This is kind of like one of the ideal builds, I would say. Because her PRF isn't that good. But yeah, this is really strong. I've been pity broken by Namie so many times. My condolences. I don't think her fodder's that great, right? But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would change anything. You could give her null follow-up seal, but then you'd probably have to swap out Flashing Blade because your attack and speed are probably not high enough. But yeah, no, this is really, really strong. And if you find that you don't even need null follow-up, like, I just realized this is gonna get off Deadeye on the second hit. So I think it's really good. Alright, on to Frozen Helm. They say, local overachiever goes whoosh. I usually put reposition, but rally is good for ARD shenanigans if need be. Plus, people are going to complain, oh, why does she not have a rally skill? Her weapon is made for it. Bye, Philip. Thank you for stopping by. That is really high attack on Annette. Very, very high. Yeah, if you're building like with life and death, this is like similar to the Boyd from earlier, might be better to use like a AoE special. I think that could be quite good. But yeah, this is really good. Pretty cool that her weapon does adaptive damage. That's true. I forgot she does that. But it's actually one of the stronger effects from like that year of units. Although nowadays units are tanky on both defense and res, so like maybe not as useful as it used to be, but still pretty strong. You could also give her Menace instead of on Tempest. But yeah. Next up from Mini Master. I think you were in chat earlier, so hopefully you're still around. They say, generic ass speedy god sword. Apologies if you get a lot of these. Creator's sword means he'll always double if he outspeeds, and proc ether in every fight, so long as he isn't fighting another tempo user. He also has godlike reflexes, but I like ether's sustainability. Interesting. So you find that you prefer ether over godlike reflexes? Definitely interesting. But yeah, I've seen a lot of Byleth builds, not in this stream though. I think you are the first male Byleth. But yeah, I think his refine is coming really soon, so I'm not even gonna give any advice at this point. But yeah, like you might want to adjust once the refine comes out, but very strong. And it's cool that you're using Ether, because Ether is actually not that good on most units, but yeah. Alright, from Mike. They say, TMS is what got me into this game, yet we only got one batch of them. Sag. Very, very strong. Honestly, kind of one of the ideal builds for her IMO. Hi, Kevin. No worries. I just realized we've been streaming for 2 hours. My god. No wonder my throat hurts. Probably another half an hour for the stream. Well, we will try to get through as many as we can. Alright. But yeah, this is kind of one of the ideal Tsubasa builds, I would say. The only thing I would change is maybe Menace instead of Rain, but Rain is also very good. And it helps against every foe. But yeah. The thing that I think really makes Tsubasa good is having a flow skill. Because she has the dive bomb effect, so as long as she can guarantee double, very similar to Ingrid, it's very strong on her. Alright. Next up from Annette, we've got this Constance. Constance, best girl. Aside from Annette, she's so strong and I love killing everything with her. Yeah. This is really strong. Does she have null follow-up? I don't... does she have null follow-up in her weapon? Because if so, I don't know if Wind Sweep is the best option, but I guess you can at least get one hit in? I don't know. She has half null follow-up? Oh, the one that lets her double? Okay, that's good. I don't even know if I would change anything. She's just so strong. And Speed Res Menace is pretty decent. I guess you could go like a different Menace, but it's honestly very good. And aside from that, I don't really know if I have any suggestions. She's just very good. Alright. Next build from Navis. The caption is, baddest bitch ever. Love her. Sorry for swearing. It felt weird to say baddest B word ever. So this is their Sophia build. Pretty good. Pretty good. Really tanky on defense and res. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Maybe attack res tempo could work as well instead of lull, but I know that's a lot more expensive, only on Legendary Deirdre. So unless you have a spare one, I wouldn't do it. Someone points out attack smoke 4 would be really good. That's a good point. I do think attack smoke 4 could be good on her. So you go and initiate, and then people can't follow up on her. And then, honestly, I would also probably swap out close reversal if you can, and use her alongside a near saver instead. But also, if you just want to use her on her own as an omni tank, this is really solid. With shield session as the seal. I don't know how many defense and res shield session gives you, but another option would be the solo seals, or the forms as well. Oh, hi, Infantry Pulse. He says she also has no auto follow-up. That's true. That's a good point. So actually maybe run Quicker Post as the seal. So Alexa's saying you could also change her tone for the Pledgian effect. You could. For sure. Ritsu says she should just equip a Brash Assault Seal then forehead. Okay. But yeah. On to the next from Logan. Plus 10 Selena. Interesting. How are you doing today, Infantry Pulse bestie? I'm having a nice Saturday. I hope you're having a good day. Bye, Builderfish. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, Selena. So, okay, first thing is I would refine the weapon because you can actually refine Arcane Eleuthir. So if I were you, I would probably attack refine. I know it's only 2 stats, but like she could really use the attack. I'm not 100% sure what the idea was with the bond. I feel like there are probably better things you could do. But I mean, if you really want to go all in on the speed and the defense, that could work, yeah. Uh, she just really struggles on the attack front. So if you find a way to give her an attack boosting A skill, I think that'd be better. And maybe even a seal that boosts attack, or the null follow-up seal, but I don't know if it's super necessary with the arcane sword. Yeah, 49 attack isn't doing much damage, I agree. So I would definitely really work on boosting her attack if you can. Alright, from Spoinkman. They say, this Tana is fun. I don't really use her for anything specific, I just like her. That's cute. I feel like there are probably better lances you could use than Slaying Lance. Did we finish another? Oh, we finished another lo-fi mix. All right, let's pull up a third lo-fi mix. Okay. But yeah, I would probably swap out the weapon for something different. I think it's cool. I mean, Unbound Lance, that's a good point, Kevin. I forgot that existed, but I do think it'd be really good. Also, Death Blow you could probably swap out for something like attack speed solo, especially if you're going with Unbound Lance, which relies on you being solo. But yeah, I think this is interesting. Spark points out attack smoke is a little weird on a set like this. Yeah, I would say maybe swap out attack smoke, but I know it is kind of expensive fodder. But yeah. Aside from that, you could give her Rain or a Menace or something. But yeah. We love to see people building their favorites. Alright, next up from Spark, their Summer Hellbindi. I use this set in AR alongside a Farsaver and he does really well. Outside of AR, I generally switch the seal to something like Mystic Boost. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, Spark, you're in chat. Okay, awesome. Honestly, the only thing I might swap is if you have like close defense 4 instead of ideal. I just find ideal, but actually, you know, his res is pretty high, so he might actually not be taking that much damage, so he actually might be a good user of ideal, but I'd probably still use close defense 4 if you have it, but if you don't, this is pretty good. Kevin also points out, I think I might like Breath Seal more than Form for instant bonfire. That's true, and that way you can get off 2 bonfires. You could also give him Bulwark, attack defense Bulwark, but again, that's also very expensive fodder. Coffee asks, will we be able to get Arcane Leaf's weapon in the upcoming Hall of Forms? No, we will not. We will not. Oh, they said those arcane weapons will only show up if we actually get the Ascended units in the Hall of Forms. Nor I haven't reviewed an Eleonora yet to date, no. Alright, let's keep going with the builds. From Connor. Balthus was one of my favorites from Three Houses, so when I saw he was a demote, I simply had to +10 him. Attack Smoke is a placeholder while I grind for the Fallen Morgan manual for Attack Defense Menace. Not sure how else to improve the build beyond that, but I'm open to ideas. Oh hey, Connor from chat, honestly. Gronwolf, thank you for stopping by, bestie. We did review your unit earlier, so if you want to check out the VOD afterwards, we did go through your Randolph. But yeah, this is a very good Balthus. Yeah. Alright, Plasma Wolf, thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a wonderful day. But yeah, I agree. Attack Defense Menace is going to be an awesome pickup for Balthus. Aside from that, I don't really know if Null Follow-Up is the move for him since he's kind of slow. but you could also give him Attack Smoke 4. I think actually would synergize really well with Seahorse Axe. So you have the guaranteed follow-up and the foe cannot make a follow-up. But yeah. Balthus, I've seen people do speedy Balthuses too, but honestly he's not that fast, so I think a build like this is honestly his best strength. Alright, next up from Laser Waffles. They say, bring on your fallen Edelguards. My Lucas can tank them. I love this build, and I somehow ended up really liking Lucas's character before I even actually played Echoes. He's really good at tanking all the blows before my other heroes come in for the attack. A great shield. His downfall is magic, where one attack with a tome and he can just barely hang on, but surprisingly does well fighting dragons. Interesting. I've never really considered a scutcheon on him. And I guess Slaying Spear, I guess the idea for that is that he can be effective against people like Fallen Edelguard. But yeah, this is pretty interesting. Not really sure if I would change. Maybe the C skill. Menace. Yeah, good point, Kevin. I would probably go attack, defense, menace instead. Infantry Pulse says Bracing Stance would be the move. I agree. I do think Bracing Stance would definitely be an upgrade on him. Just because otherwise you don't have guard, so Fallen Edelguard still can activate her special against you. Although it's probably not going to do too much damage, but still. But yeah, I also have a +10 Lucas, and I think this is cool. I don't think his PRF is very good, so I think Slaying Spear is an interesting way to make him deal with armors, specifically. Alright, next up from Plasma Wolf, who unfortunately has just left, so hopefully they'll catch the VOD later. This is their +10 Cecilia. They say, I have not completed this build yet, still need the Unity and save skills. I want to put her on a team with Renea, with triple distant guard in her weapons, C skill, and seal. Oh, Plasma Wolf, you're still here! Awesome. Glad you got to see it. Wily Fighter? Interesting. I don't really know what Wily Fighter does. Hi Val, thank you for stopping by. We actually reviewed your Fafnir in the unit review stream I did last week. I don't think you were around for that, but if you want to see that, you can check out the VOD from last week's stream. But yeah, this is pretty good. They say, I hope she'll also do well in AR defense so she can be boosted with Hell and Note, and then the weapon refine goes to res rather than defense. Infantry Pulse points out defense res form is typically an upgrade to just a defense. I agree. If you're using her around people, I would definitely do that. Kevin says Bottled Juice is interesting because it's guard. And then they would go for the Lachesis Mask Dagger. I agree. I don't remember what it's called. I think it might be Courtly Mask. But it has, I think, damage reduction 50% on the first hit. And obviously Cecilia's very slow. So I think it would be pretty good to give Courtly Mask. Alright, from Brandless. This is a +5 Winter Altina. This is so interesting. I never even thought of attack res finish on her, but it's actually really good on her. Because her special is pretty much always going to activate. This is actually really slay. Odd Tempest is an interesting choice. But yeah. I don't know, I don't even know what I would swap it out for. I guess you could do Menace, but I don't know if it's as useful on her. So, I mean, if you like Odd Tempest, that's pretty awesome, but I definitely think this is really cool. Oh, Infantry Pulse says, I also run Odd Tempest on her as well, works wonders. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. Alright, from Night Spider. Night Spider's a really big Roy fan. They say, this Roy has many skills. There are a variety of builds, so it can adapt to many situations. That said, I do wish IS would give CYL second place winners a PRS skill. As a Brave Plot fan, I completely agree. Hi, Jose. Was your Fernand reviewed? No, I don't think so. Sorry about that. So yeah, let's look at this Roy. He's got the Refine, obviously very good. Ignis is an interesting pick. So Sparrow, attack defense, Near Trace. Yeah, I would probably swap out Honed Cavalry for something like Menace, if you have it. Ryan asks, was my Soth reviewed already? I'm not sure. We did review a Soth, but I don't remember if the name was Ryan, so sorry about that. Hi, Vapo! Yeah, I would probably just swap out his C skill for Menace. I think it would be very good on him. And maybe instead of Sturdy Blow, give him, like Blade Session or something. I don't know if his defense needs more increasing, considering his weapon gives, I think, plus 10 defense on initiation. Someone says Defensor has smoke for Gale Force strats. That would actually be interesting. Yeah, that could be interesting. Also, Sturdy Surge would be another option, but then obviously you wouldn't use Gale Force. Yep. Catch is also an option as well, especially if you're running Menace. Alright, from Pandora, we've got this plus 10 Alphonse. They say, usually he's my tank on the team. He can take hits really well and then deal back big damage when he's healing himself in the process. If he's running Far Save, I would probably swap out Bold Fighter. Because Bold Fighter is obviously a player phase skill and Far Save is an enemy phase skill. So I think a better option for him would be one of the save skills that give a guaranteed follow-up on enemy phase. Maybe the one with Guard. I think it's Crafty Fighter, maybe? Ritsu points out he's not that good with the release of Valentine's Crom. True, you really can't use it against Valentine's Crom. But yeah. So Vengeful Fighter could work on him. Crafty Fighter. Mages can't run Hardy Fighter, so yeah. But yeah, Kevin's saying Bonfire would also potentially be a better option because you got a lot of healing already from Amity Blooms and Mystic Boost. But yeah, I think that's pretty good. Alright, now from Liliner. We've got this Lilina. Oh, hi Pandora! We'll go back to yours real quick because you just got here. In case you missed it, we were just saying probably would swap out Bold Fighter for something like Crafty Fighter or Vengeful Fighter because Bold Fighter is more of a player phase skill for sure, and Far Save is more of like an enemy phase skill, so yeah. And I think he'd be really, really good then. And maybe give him like Bonfire instead of Ether, but Ether's also pretty good. Hi Suffy! We did review a Felicia. If you were the colorless dual infantry for Felicia, it might have been you. But yeah, thank you for stopping by, Pandora. Glad we got to your unit. And now from Liliner, this plus 7 Beachside Bloom Lilina. I don't know what Vicious Dagger does, so if someone wants to let me know what that does, is that the one with the -2 cooldown at the start of the turn? Is it like Quick Dagger? Or no, it's probably something else. Is that the Null Follow-Up Dagger? Hi, Lilina Impact! Okay, yeah, offensive Null Follow-Up. This is really good. This is a really, really good build. I might swap out the Joint Drive Speed for Attack Speed Menace. I think would be really, really good on her. And then in that case, if you have Attack Speed Catch to give her as well as the A skill, I think it would be even better. But yeah, very, very good. We love to see units build units to be fast who aren't meant to be fast. It's super fun to see. Alright, from Cheyenne Rose, we've got this Gale Force, Celica. They say, this is her normal build. AR version has no assist and Times Pulse to deal with guard. Having her around is just really fun. Wish I can get more merges plus Floret for her. But yeah, this is really strong. I definitely think she does really well with Gale Force. I think she has that -1 cooldown after combat. And yeah. Infantry Pulse says needs more speed, lose sturdy impact. Yeah, I mean, if you're running her in your hands, like as a player phase unit, probably swap out Sturdy Impact for something that deals more speed, that has more speed and attack. Ideal is an option. Swift Sparrow's an option too. But probably Ideal if you have it. I think Ideal 4 is actually in the codes. But yeah. Grunwolf says she's a disgusting godlike reflexes user for mixed phase 2. That's really interesting. I never considered that, but I guess that actually would work really well on her. Speed Smoke 4, godlike reflexes, something like Kestrel Stance and Velocity. Yeah. If you're looking to overhaul the full build, feel like you can totally do that. But if you're still just looking for this offensive Gale Force build, probably just swap out Sturdy Impact if you have Ideal. You can grab it from the codes on a Louise. Alright, next up from Rickon. They say, begging IS to give Ewan, or Ewan, I don't know how to pronounce that, a refine next month. Yeah, I mean, hopefully he gets a refine soon. At this point, I don't know if I want to recommend any other builds until he does, but I think this is cool. I think having that, the AoE build is interesting. I don't really use AoE builds, so I don't super have advice for it. But yeah, for now, this is pretty cool. I was this late to submit. Yes, Rickon, unfortunately, you were. You were very, very low down the... Well, like, I say very low. You're still, like, 120, 130 in. But yeah, glad we got to you. And if he gets a refine, obviously, would probably change the build completely. Grunwolf points out, only thing he needs with AoE build is pulse support from allies. That's true. Alright, from Ryan, we've got this Soth. Actually, Ryan was in chat earlier, so I guess this was a different Soth. But Ryan, if you're still around, we've got your Soth here. The only caption that Ryan submitted was a smiley face. So, yeah. I do think this is really, really strong. I worry that he might struggle to charge lethality because I don't think Peshkats has a way to accelerate his own special trigger. So, maybe something like Heavy Blade 4, maybe? I don't really know. But yeah, pretty strong. Skinny asks, have I reviewed your Quan yet? No, wait, I think I reviewed a Quan last week, maybe? But not today, so I'm sorry. Life and Death is a weird choice, something like Suspera would be better. Yeah, the thing is, like, at plus 10, his bulk is actually, like, almost 30. So, maybe you could give him something like Ideal or Swift Sparrow. Could be an option. But yeah, really cool Soph. I think he's one of the better units who got a Resplendent, for sure. Ooh, alright, on to the next build from Plesio. Plesio Digger, fellow Feytuber. This is their Tharja. They say, she's the most recent 5-star I've built with premium skills. Otherwise, I would have submitted an Azura or my Raja. So yeah, this is Tharja. Close Reversal's an interesting choice for her. Does she have, like, what does her weapon do? Is it just the Blade Tome? I would probably also swap out Darting Stance for something like Attack Speed Solo. Tronic says, dang, we are 2 hours and 20 minutes in. There are just so many builds. We have so many builds. I'm not even gonna get to all of them. It do be like that, though. But yeah, I mean, Tharja's a really good Vantage unit. Might want to look into that. Maybe even Speed Preempt. Ooh, Speed Preempt is such an interesting choice, actually. That's a really good suggestion. If you have Speed Preempt, Plesio Digger, I think that would be really good on her. And then just really go all in on her one-shotting potential. So either give him buffs give her buffs externally, or give her a menace skill, like attack speed menace or something could be really cool. Aside from that, yeah, I would definitely change out her C skill. If you don't give her menace, yeah, I think menace is kind of just the best option now that I think about it. I don't really know what else would work well. Thank you, Wacky Warrior. I have been drinking water, and we're only gonna go for like another 10 more minutes. But yeah. Sorry guys, there are just so many builds. I'm thinking what I'm gonna do in the future is kind of like, because I feel like the amount of units I have here would probably be enough for like 3 or 4 streams, and that's kind of just too much. We might do a part 3, but I'm thinking in the future, I would love to submit, like, I was thinking like maybe we could even have a form live, so like whoever tunes into the live stream can submit their builds live. Like, I don't know actually. What do you guys think? What do you guys think would be the best way to do this in the future? Because I will just not be able to get to all of these. I just won't. No subs unless you donate $100. No, I would never do that. But if you do become a member, you have first priority to have your units reviewed. Wacky Warrior says, I thought there was a form for submitting units. There is, but we have like 300 like submissions, and like everyone takes me like 1 or 2 minutes, and there's just no way I can get through all of them. So I'm thinking like, what can I do in the future to make it easier to get to the people who are around? Infantry Paul says, just do your best. I still think it's great to watch and learn from these, even if your own unit doesn't get the chance to show up on the screen. That's true. Yeah, I agree, Sharina Lover. That's what I was thinking. Considering that chat is only around 100 right now, maybe the live form thing, but members still get it early. So I'm thinking, yeah, like members will always get first priority, but after that, I think it might be cool to do like a live submission thing. Or cap it at a certain amount for one stream. That's true, I could also do that. I just feel like it's more fun when the people who are actually in the stream are the ones who get their units reviewed, and like obviously I get like not everybody can make it to every stream, but like I just feel like it's more interactive that way, so that would be an option. But we were talking about earlier doing like themed unit reviews, so like maybe 1 week I would be doing a unit review for like silly builds would be an option. Another one is like we could do specific weapon types, specific movement types, or like 1 week where we can only do all seasonal units. I think would be really cool. Ritsu-chan says, love submissions. Live submissions would be cool, but I hope it's not too much for you to handle. I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do live submissions in the future, and the form will cap off at 100 submissions. Just because I just don't see me being able to review more than 100 units in one stream. It's just not happening. So yeah. Iris says we could also do unit review by game. True. Okay, thank you guys so much for your input on this. I definitely think we're gonna do this a little differently next time. Thank you, Giratina. Appreciate it. We'll do 3 more builds. 3 more builds. Alright, who is up next? Koopakoot is up next with Limstella. Ooh, we love to see Limstella. Hi, Sarcel! We are about to end stream, but thank you for stopping by regardless, bestie. I hope you're having a fun Saturday. So this is Limstella. Obviously, I love them. They are very cool, super slay. They say that they're running attack tactic to get at least an extra 6 more damage. That's actually really interesting because obviously their weapon works off of their allies having attack rest buffs, I think. So that's actually interesting. I have never considered that. I might give them something different though, like if you have a joint drive or if you have a menace or something. But this is actually really interesting if you don't have another way to get attack buffs on the allies around you. Sarcelle, I love the color pink, so I'm glad you called that out specifically. I also love purple, but yeah. Infantry Pulse says we also got Hone Attack 4 from the codes last month. That's true. Yeah, I actually really like the idea of using Limstella to give their allies attack buffs so that they can get more damage. I have a plus 10 Limstella myself, and I hadn't even considered that, but I actually really like that. Aside from that, I would probably swap out Mystic Boost for maybe Lull. Like maybe Lull Attack Res could be really good. I also worry that if you're going for an Omni tank build for this Limstella, their defense isn't really high enough. So you could go, like what I run on my Limstella is Bracing Stance 3. I know it's very expensive fodder, but if you have it, it's pretty good. Aside from that though, if you're really just going for like a mage tank, this is really solid. All right. But yeah, Limstella, we love them. They're awesome. From Richard, we've seen a couple legendary alms in these unit reviews already. Hunley submitted one last time and a couple other people as well. But yeah, he is very good. Groundwolf says Monica's speed res tempo seems fun here. I assume that was for Limstella, not for alm. But yeah, you could now give him the null follow-up seal and then give him like a water sweep, just that he has full sweep. But aside from that, very solid. I don't really have any advice. He just does really well with his remix. Pretty much whatever you give him. Someone says they would go Oath. That's another option as well. Speed defense tempo is another option as well. True. Okay. This will probably be the last unit we review. From Sweaty Feller. They've got their Libra. Hi, Oblivion Knight, thank you. I also really like that art. I was so happy when my bestie Darky over on Twitter made it for me. It is just stunning. But yeah, so this is Libra. I don't know what his axe does, so if someone in chat wants to let me know, please let me know. But aside from that, he's running Vital Astra, Distant Storm, Speed Defense Bulwark, and Attack Speed Oath, and Darting Breath. Very interesting. Infantry Pulse is pointing out kind of needs pre-charge support. True. So you could run him with like Raphael or Groom Raphael or Duo Crom to charge up his special as well. There are a lot of ways to charge up people's specials nowadays, but I definitely think it's cool. But aside from that, no. Valuria is another option too. Thank you, Groundwolf. Yeah, this is awesome. I still don't know what his axe does because nobody in chat told me. I don't know if anyone else knows either. But yeah, I think Libra is decent. And like we have a lot of plus 10 margeable axe infantry units, so it's kind of hard to stand out. But I mean, if he's your favorite, if he's someone you really like, always worth the investment. But yeah, it is 2:30, my friends. We've been streaming for 2.5 hours. I am going to run out of like my throat is just gonna run out of steam. So, yeah. But thank you guys for stopping by. Appreciate it. Sorry if I didn't get to your unit. There are just a lot of submissions. There's nothing I can do about that. But we might try a live stream next time, or we might just keep going through the rest of these units. I haven't really decided yet. But yeah, thank you all so much for stopping by. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And see you guys tonight, probably, maybe, for the trailer. Bye, everyone.